Behind Greatness is a podcast series exploring the journeys and personal insights of successful leaders, anchored on themes of resilience and leadership. Each interview aims to inspire listeners to stop at nothing short of their dreams. Brought to you by Inspire North, a nonprofit organization connecting youth with today's leaders. Ready? Let's get inspired.
Let's talk about you.
Let's talk about me.
So, this is our next installment of Behind Greatness.
Yeah.
And Matt Murray's an interesting guy, so we're glad we have him here. So he's filming here in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So Matt comes all the way from LA and originally from Detroit.
That's
so
right.
not too far away.
No, 4 hours away. 4 hours away. D-Town right now.
What's that?
That's Detroit. This is
Oh,
the heartbeat.
fantastic.
So it's kind of like the heartbeat of Detroit. This lets me know of the people that depend on me. These are the people that I'm inspiring back home. So that I show them me making it is proof that anybody back in that environment can make it.
So why on the right arm and not the left?
Well, I have this one on the left. Your best is enough.
Huh.
This is known as the left side is your feminine side. The right side is your masculine side. So I need to be told this very nurturing way. Be easy on myself. And then this is just a reminder, like a father would be. Remember who's counting on you. Not in a way where I don't feel the pressure of it, but it just reminds me when I want to slack or maybe not put in the full effort of my best. I look down at that when I don't want to give my best, and I remember that's right. These people are counting on me, so I always have to give my best.
This is like the balanced Matt.
It really is, man. Because the only thing that we will put above us is somebody else. So if somebody else is counting on me, I can let myself down because I know I'll be okay. I'll build myself back up. So I can allow me not giving my fullest. I can allow the excuse of me knowing I can pick myself back up. But if I let somebody else down, that destroys me. So I'm like, okay, I'm a success story in Detroit. I want to be the inspiration of others. I want to let them know, hey, if you're in Detroit, Philly, New York, whatever neighborhood that you're from, that it was unfortunate circumstances and it was, something that you felt
that you
trapped,
and
everybody there is a victim of a circumstance.
Yeah.
This is letting them know you don't have to stay a victim of your circumstance. This reminds me of me saying I no longer choose to be a victim of the circumstance I was born in.
This is why we wanted you on the podcast. And you know what? This is why you're a friend of Inspire.
Yeah. Thank you.
But allow me to tell you that this is also about you. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you don't like to talk about yourself too much, but we're going to force it.
It's about us, and if me talking about me inspires
it.
others, then that makes us the us.
Well, okay, so then for the listenership, let me just give a quick background.
Absolutely.
Where you are professionally.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about all the deeper things.
Beautiful.
So you're filming right now in Toronto. Yeah. So for the listeners out there, Matt is right here or right now in Toronto filming for a Netflix special, a Netflix series called In the Dark.
And CW and Netflix.
CW. Okay, CW series In the Dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
To sum it up, Matt has had a starring role in 9-5KL.
9JKL.
9JKL.
Yeah. I mess it up with my dyslexia all the time.
5 and J are the same here.
Oh, that's me. That's my writing. I apologize.
No, it's
a
okay.
J.
No worries. I might get over it by the end of the podcast, but I can't guarantee.
I'll train you.
You're gonna untrain.
Yeah.
You're gonna untrain me
like this. I know you need to. You just train me to make my J's better, because that looks like a 5. So you just help me with that.
And you just train me not to make a big thing out of a little thing.
Exactly. See, it's about us.
More I like it.
It's about us.
The balance. So 9JKL.
Yeah.
Kevin from Work.
Yep.
Eyewitness.
That's right.
And Rookie Blue.
That's right.
Which was shot originally here in Toronto,
and
then became an ABC smash hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is Matt professionally in like 5.5 seconds.
Yeah.
what we're here to learn though is what Matt is in terms of being. Right. So we want to learn where Matt was from, where you're from is obviously Detroit.
Yeah.
What your childhood was like and what your adolescence was like, the decisions that you made to bring you where you are today, and then from here and beyond as well.
Okay.
And happy birthday.
Oh yeah. So today is my last day of being 29 years old.
Poor you.
It is my. You know what? I want it right now. By tomorrow, I will no longer want 20s. You know, like I always say, happiness is wanting what you have, not having what you want. So the moment that I leave 29, I will no longer want to be 29. I will want to be 30 because that's what I will have. I will have 30 years on this planet, and I will want that.
So being in the present moment.
Being in the present moment, and so. With my 20s, I'm going to love this next day of just saying I'm in my 20s because it'll be the last time I can ever say that. Yeah. So I'm going to love saying that all day today, and then when tomorrow comes, I'm going to love saying I'm 30.
Yeah. I feel happy that you're also getting older too.
Yeah. You know, it's a whirlwind, man. Like especially in this age, it's the first time I've really started to feel my body shift. I started to feel my mentality shift and well, no, I mean, you feel it, I guess that'd be like 7 years or something like that, right? You start to be a little bit more conscious of what that shift starts happening. So as a teenager, you start understanding how to be more independent. You know, you start seeing, I'm allowed to start making my own choices, and I can back up my choices, and I can defend myself a lot easier.
So let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
So go. Matt as a teenager. Shoot.
Me as a teenager, I was still the type of person that loved to make people laugh all the time. I loved giving love, but I didn't love myself the way I needed to love myself. I was in a very dark place as a teenager because with my mom. My mom she was a very lost person, you know, and she was abusive when I was a kid, physically, verbally. Her boyfriends were. Her ex-husband, he was cool though. He helped me through a lot as a teenager, but I was lost, man. And I got to a point where at 16 years old, I was gonna join a gang because of just how dark I was. You know, everything was just. I was fighting all the time, you know, like someone would look at me wrong and I'd want to fight them, you know. It was I was losing who I was. And my mom, funny enough, she's the one that said to me, never let anyone take your happiness away. But my mom was the one doing it. So I think it was the true mother inside my mom that came out to protect me against her.
Wow.
I think it was her that came out to say that, understanding I'm the one taking your happiness away. To the point where guys are putting a gun in my hand saying, you killed this dude, you're in the family now. And I was going to do it. I was really going to do it. I had no problem taking the life because I didn't care about my life. If I don't care about my life, how am I going to care about other people's lives? Yeah. You know? And then I just kind of sat with myself overnight and that came to my mind. It was, don't let anyone take your happiness away. And if I take somebody else's life, I take somebody else's child, somebody else's brother, somebody else's nephew, you know, grandchild, then I just cause so much pain to all these other people and to myself because now I got to live with that.
So how did you switch? How did you?
I ran away. I ran away from my circumstance. I ran away from my mom, from home. You know, it was one night. I got into a fight at my job, and my mom and I got into this big fight, and she said I would have to stay there for too many years and be miserable, and I said I don't have to do that. And then she said, well, there's a door, you can leave anytime you want. Now my dad and I, all my siblings, we were all waiting. In the States, if you get kicked out of the house, then you have a court case for custody with the other parent. So she said I could leave. So now the lawyers have something to say, well, okay, well, she kicked him out. Then anytime she gets mad at him, she's going to put him on the street. So she's no longer liable to take care of this child. She doesn't know how to do that. So now that's the fight.
So your dad brought you in?
So my dad, so I went back with my dad. I stayed Christmas with my friends. I finished up the last 2 weeks of school, stayed Christmas with my friends because the lawyer said don't go and get them just yet.
Sorry, you were 15, 16?
I was 16.
16.
Yeah,
okay.
and then when my dad came and got me the day after Christmas, and then we went to court. My dad got custody over me, and then that's when I had to. That's when I realized how damaged I really was. It was more so. I mean, I knew how lost I was when I was willing to kill somebody, but I realized how damaged I was because I was waking up every night, sometimes 2 times a night, with night terrors, thinking I'm back with my mom. You know, things happening to me. I had stress warts all over my hands in high school. Like I had my hands like this, so that people didn't see all the warts on my fingers. You know, and I had to get liquid nitrogen sprayed on them and ripped off, and it was so painful. And then I had like like my skin was bad. Like it was just stress. You know, stress and anxiety and anger and fear, you know, nonstop, all of that stuff. And nobody knew because I was joking with everybody and I was becoming a man. So a man is not allowed to feel all those things.
Sure.
At least that's what we were taught.
So then you went with your dad and
my dad
started to...
Yeah, so then I started realizing all the things that I had from my mom. I was always on the defense.
Yeah.
Until my dad checked me one day. He was like, you just like your mother. You always defending yourself. Nobody's attacking you. And then I clicked and I was like, damn, I am doing that. Let me stop because that's not me. That's not me. So I just cut out arguments. I just stopped arguing.
At 16?
At 16.
Yeah.
I just stopped arguing with people because I was just like, that's causing me to want to fight. That's causing all these emotions to kind of come up. There was so much emotions inside of me and so much trauma that was inside of me. And nobody taught me how to let it go. Everybody taught me how to push it down. Nobody taught me how to let it out. Nobody taught me how to remove and have a healthy body again. I have a stressed out body, an anxiety body, an anger body. You know? So even if I start making progress, I still got so much inside my body that has been in there because emotion is energy, and energy doesn't leave unless you release it. So if I have a trauma that I never got over and I never faced or relieve the tears or the anger or whatever I needed to relieve, that stays in my body, and then time builds up and that grows, that becomes older and bigger, and then it turns into a disease.
So for the listener's sake, you and I have these conversations
all the time.
Every time you speak, we have a conversation like this. We don't skip a beat.
Yeah.
So what you've just finished describing now could be at any point in your life, right?
Right.
Or
right.
our lives, for that matter.
Absolutely.
But I want us to go back to when you were 16. So you had this renaissance, right? So your dad kind of smacked you over the head, figuratively speaking, and you kind of awoke that way. You started to wake up. So
that was the awareness. So he made me aware.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn to make the choice.
So what was your path from there?
Stay away from negativity, because that's all I was surrounded by. I knew the world of negativity. I knew the world of anger and sadness and fear and violence. Like that was the world I lived in my whole life, and I didn't like that world no more. I didn't want to be in that world no more, and I don't want to join that world and be a muscle within that world. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be in that world, affiliated with the world. I want that gone, because that's not the world that the true Matt Murray comes through. The one who wants to make people happy, but I also had to realize I want to make myself happy.
So then along the way you had, and I remember you mentioned this in one of the earliest conversations that we had, so you excuse me if I got the details wrong. But shortly after that, then you had a good teacher. You had a teacher that mentored you the right way.
Yeah, exactly. There was a teacher at the high school I went to. My high school in Detroit is shut down now, but there was a couple really great teachers there to help us students, because we had the worst test scores in all of Michigan. Mm-hmm. And a lot of teachers that were there, if you got in an argument with them, they would fail you. So there was this one teacher, Mr. Bennett. He was in my drama class. And when I had him in 11th grade, he just started shifting my mentality little by little. And he was the one that really pushed acting for me, because he saw I had a natural ability for acting. I just needed more. I needed more structure. I needed more, technique and stuff like that.
He needs training.
Yeah. So he told me when I graduated high school, I worked at Target. and there was a recession in Detroit, so it was hard for everybody to get a job. And sports was my main thing leading up to that. And then my dad got really sick the year I graduated. He almost died, so I took the year off to take care of him, and I let go of everything, let go of sports, all that stuff, take care of him. I worked at Target. I'm dyslexic, so I switched my schedule with somebody else's schedule, and I missed my shift. And then they had to fire me because I'm a seasonal worker. So then I'm like selling like Cutco knives, like kitchen knives and stuff, trying to just make a friggin' living. And then I went back to see Mr. Bennett, and he said, I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, there's a recession. Like, my life is not happy right now. I was like, what do I do? And he was like, get out of Detroit. Go to LA, New York, and Toronto, and go to theater school. Train how the best train. Learn what they did, go from there. So I was like, okay. So I looked up, I saw tuition in Canada was so much cheaper than the States. So like that, Ryerson or University of Toronto is the biggest schools here, and it's like $10,000.
Yeah.
Those are loans I can get, you know what I mean? So my school, I went to Humber for theater. I got denied from the first.
Humber, downtown Toronto.
Humber, downtown Toronto. Yeah, I ended up getting denied. I auditioned for 8 schools. I got denied by the first 7.
Wow.
Got into Humber, found out Humber was the best one of all of them, which was a blessing because I knew about some of the other names. I didn't know about Humber. So if I got one of those, I would have taken those, and I would have went to a lower level school than what Humber was for theater. So that really saved my life because it turned out amazing because it opened my mind. It took me away from survival, and it took me into live. Now it's time to live. I already survived. I don't have to live to survive. I have to live now. So I'm now pursuing my dream. I'm now like, in order to be the best for my dream, I need to open my mind and let go of a lot of things I was taught. I had to untrain a lot of habits that were put in my mind from the environments that I grew in, because now I'm in a different environment.
Okay, so let's split that up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about very quickly your environment. So the framework for the following 2 years, 3 years, or however long the program was, and then the decisions you made, and then let's split that out from the untraining, because I think you and I want to talk about a couple of things on the untraining. So on very quickly then, that framework, that physical framework. You were here in Toronto. You studied for 2 years, 3 years.
3 years. 3 years of training. Funny enough, after the first year, I was actually scared to go back to Detroit because a lot of my friends were getting killed or going to jail.
Wow.
And I was scared to be caught up in that situation. So, and I just I really opened up. I fell on my face hard in a exercise, an acting exercise. I froze, and I've never frozen in my whole life. And that ended up being the best thing to ever happen to me. It was the scariest thing in the moment just because I've never frozen. I left a scene partner hanging, and it ended up being so terrifying for me in the work because I was like, damn, I might leave anybody hanging now. If we're on stage in front of an audience, I can leave this person hanging like that. You know what I mean? And that terrified me. So then my playfulness left, and it's that whole thing of putting somebody above you, right? If I mess up, I can make up for it. But if I fucked you up, damn, how do I just caused you emotional stress and pain.
Turmoil.
You know, turmoil. So I had to learn as much technique as possible. Playfulness was my strength, technique was my weakness because I didn't have any training. So now I just told all the teachers, I'm like, look, this is what happened. I'm scared to perform now. Can you help guide me through these lessons? I think that technique is really going to help bring me back onto the horse. Can you guide me with that? And they said yes. And students are scared of that. Most students are scared of that. They're scared to ask the teachers. Right?
So you asked for help.
So I asked for help. I just kept it simple. I said, I'm scared. I was honest with myself. I said, I'm scared to perform. Right? I wasn't scared to live. I was scared to perform. I just kept it what it was in the category. I was scared to perform.
Well, that must have been devastating. Right before you said it must have been devastating for you because you were there to train to perform.
Exactly.
This is what you want to do.
And remember, I come from an environment where we don't say we're scared.
Right.
In anything. So again, I'm removing that untraining. Don't ever say you scared. But I need help. Yeah. If I need help and I'm scared, then I need to say, I'm scared, can you help me? Because if somebody says, I'm scared, can you help me? Most people would just drop everything and be like, yeah, you're scared. Like, what's up? And so that's what they did. They were adults. They were grown-ups. They were good mentors. And they were like, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for being honest with me. And them knowing where I came from also made that a big deal too. They were just like, absolutely, we have you back. So then I did that. And then that allowed me to start saying more. I'm scared of this, scared of that, scared of this, scared of that. Then I have friends when I would tell that to, they'd be like, I'll be like, and it might be in ways where I'm saying we're at a big gala, and I've never been around millionaires, billionaires, all that stuff. We're at a gala, and then one of my friends is like, I tell my friend, hey bro, I've never been in this kind of setting before. I don't know what the mannerisms are. I don't know what to do. Don't worry, bro, I got you. Unbutton it. Every time you sit down, unbutton it. You know, this fork goes here, this it.
So for people listening, when you say unbutton, we're not talking about anything.
No, we're talking about like the suit jacket. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about now. I'm learning new mannerisms in a new environment that I've never been in before. You know, I'm not used to being on that class.
Yeah.
But I feel just as intelligent as anybody in that class. I feel like I've gone through so much to be able to deserve to step into any room, whatever class that is. And I should be allowed to be there because I'm a human being who has gone through stuff, who has worked his butt off. These guys have worked their butt off. They had money as a reward. I'm right now just having self-exploration as my reward.
And you know what? I want to correct you because you said intelligence. I think it had and it has nothing to do with intelligence. I think in your case especially, but you know, maybe we can generalize.
Intelligence is not just book smart. That's not what I mean by intelligence.
I'm thinking maturity and wisdom.
Yes, right? Absolutely. And I feel like I have the same maturity and wisdom that these billionaires and these millionaires have.
Yeah.
Right? So I believe in myself now. I'm starting to believe in myself. And so me asking for help and saying, hey man, I'm not really comfortable here because I've never experienced it before. That's a natural reaction. Anywhere that humans go is a new environment, a little bit of fear comes in. At a very small minute, not being like scared with your tail in between your legs, but of being uncomfortable. Fear hides in uncomfortable, right? We talked about there's always two choices, love and fear. Fear hides in uncomfort, hides in confusion, hides in anger, hides in frustration, hides in irritation, hides in anxiety, hides in stress, right? All of that is what fear hides in. Love hides in intelligence, creativity, happiness, excitement, clarity, self-awareness, you know.
I like clarity.
Clarity, like absolutely. You know, there's no like you when you have clarity, now you have ideas.
So one theme that we kind of always underlies our chats is judgment and vulnerability.
Absolutely.
Right? And you just touched upon that.
Yes. Don't judge, stay vulnerable. A true warrior is not the person that closes his heart and fights. Because they know that this is the most vulnerable place, your heart.
Sure.
A true warrior opens his heart and is able to battle with his heart out. The greatest warriors are never found on the battlefield because they will never resort to violence. They know they don't need to. So the warriors fight, kings win.
What's that say? Reminds me of the saying, better to be a soldier in a garden than a gardener in a battlefield.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kings, you don't see kings and like presidents. You don't see them on the battlefield. They win. They have their warriors do that for them.
That reminds me of another theme that we talk about often. Stories.
Hold on, real quick. With me saying that, that's not saying I'm trying to be a king to put other lives at stake of violence. With that said, with the king mentality is not. That's the wrong king mentality to put other people to fight your wars. But it's just fighting a war outside of violence.
Okay. So I didn't interpret it that way,
so,
but I'm glad
so as a soldier, you would be a soldier with me being like, doing this. This is the battlefield.
Okay, I like it.
You know what I mean? There's no violence with this. There's awareness and yeah, there's self-awareness and just rawness of what humans and what we're actually doing.
Yeah, no, in a sense, we're kind of marching forward.
Absolutely.
Right? And anybody's active in communicating like this and sharing wisdom, you're marching forward or marching forward together. Yeah.
But I don't need to beat someone's ass to change their mind.
No.
I just need to conversate with them and listen.
Although sometimes
understand them.
Sometimes you want to.
You want to, 100%. But that, again, was taught to us.
Yes.
That was taught to us. When my dad says, I'm going to beat his ass for cutting me off, I'm listening to that. And now when I'm driving, I'm at the age, I'm like, I want to beat his ass because he cut me off.
Yeah.
But he didn't hit me. I'm the only one feeling that anger towards him. If I just slow down, he cuts in front of me, it's all good. I ain't get hit, it's fine.
Little emotions. So you talk often about
little emotions.
That's what brings me to.
So a lot of people say, don't sweat the small things. How do we take that? We take it as, don't even think about it. You have to acknowledge them though. So say I wake up late, right? I gotta be somewhere. I wake up late, so I know that if I go get my coffee, I'm gonna be a little bit late, but I'll get to work within like 5 minutes late though, right? I get up. If I stress about being late, I have the emotions now of being late, right? Now I'm just like, fuck, like I'm behind. My boss might be mad at me. Hopefully I get my coffee on time. If I just get my coffee on time, then I should be able to get to work and nobody would notice that I'm late, right? All of that is emotion, that's anxiety, right? Mm-hmm. We're feeling that. Then you go on a drive. You driving to work, or you're driving to the coffee place. Somebody cuts you off. This motherfucker right here just cut me off. I'll beat your fuck. Let it go. Fuck it. Just let it go. Fuck it. Right? Again, you're not checking how frustrated that just made you in the moment.
Sure.
Right? Then you go to the coffee shop. You're walking towards the coffee shop. There's a person that's walking really slow in front of you. You just move. Rather than thinking they just don't know they're right behind you.
Sure. They
don't know. Maybe that person that cut you off didn't know she was there either. Or maybe that person was just freaking out in their law. Okay, whatever. But this person now is in front of you. You just got pissed off from waking up late. Now you got pissed off from somebody cutting you off. Now you pissed off somebody walking slow in front of you. Then you get to the coffee shop. That's 3 things already. That's already started your day with negative, low vibrating emotions. Okay? Hurtful emotions. All of those emotions over time has been scientifically proven to turn into disease.
Yeah.
Because we let it go. We didn't sweat the small things. Now you're inside the coffee shop. It's a long line. Fuck! Long line now going on. I'm definitely going to be late. Now you're convincing yourself all these things you should get mad about.
Which have nothing to do with you.
Have nothing to do with you. And have nothing to do with the outcome either. That outcome might not even be that. People still might not recognize. You still might get to work early. Right? I said to you today, I think I might be a little bit late because I got to get medicine for my dog. He really needs his medicine right now. I'm be a little bit late. Only 2 minutes late.
No, actually, you were 1 minute early.
1 minute early. Okay, so because I texted you, right? So, but see, that's the thing. All I did was, you know what, the possibility of me being late is coming up. Let me just let Luch know so that just to be sure.
Yeah. Still
keep doing what I'm doing, and then I got here early. I didn't expect that, but I didn't let anything hinder me. So when you're feeling those low vibrating emotions, you're also attracting more of that.
Yeah.
Fear feeds fear. All of those emotions of anxiety, fear hides in that. Anger, fear hides in that, right? So now you're also attracting that energy. That's the law of attraction. You're attracting more of that, all because you keep suppressing it. You keep not sweating the little emotions, right? Then you get to work. Now you're probably about 10 to 12 minutes late now because you've been feeling all these low vibrating things. Now you've probably hit traffic. Right? You're not thinking I can cut down this street, to maybe cut down, on the time and stuff. Yeah. You're just stuck in traffic and now you're pissed off. You're allowing yourself to stay upset and you're convincing yourself more situations that are not really there. Then you get there about 10 minutes late. Now the boss is like, you're late. Yeah, I know I'm late. I don't want to hear the excuses. Now you just started your day terrible.
Sure.
Terrible. And then you come home at nighttime. You had say nothing else bad really happens, but you have a lot of work, right? Now you're exhausted. You still have those emotions that you had that morning. Those never went anywhere. You never let them go. You never actually truly felt them and let them move through your body. That's how emotions and energy works. It's scientifically proven. So, then we get home. Now the kid's running around. Kids being a kid, playing. But you don't want to hear noise now. Stop playing. Stop being so loud, right? Maybe, your wife, whatever. She's just like, babe, I just saw this on the bill. I don't need that right now. Now you're having a bad day and now you're affecting your family. And then your wife, what's wrong? What happened? Nothing. It's just, I just had a lot of work today. You think the reason why your day's messed up because of all the work that you did. Nothing bad happened within that time. Everything, all those negative emotions happened before you even got to work. So now you got to look back on your day and be like, what happened? Why do I feel like this? And you start remembering, all those little things that I try not to sweat, I didn't deal with them because I didn't sweat them. I pushed them down.
Where were you when I was 30?
But that's what we're not taught. This is what we have to teach ourselves and each other. Once you make each other aware of something, now you're aware of it. So now when something happens, and you're like, damn, this is what Matt was talking about when somebody's walking in front of me. The more you understand somebody else, the more somebody else understands you, right? So if I'm walking behind somebody who's walking slow, instead of me being like, why the fuck are they walking so slow? Well, I don't know if they have any hip problems or knee problems or if they even know I'm behind them. Sure. I even said this, I tested it. That's the dope thing about this kind of work. You can test it all the time. But fucking test it. Don't be like, yeah, that sounds good, but it ain't gonna happen. Test it. Yeah. Try it. Put it to work. Practice. See what happens. I promise you are gonna find out how magic this freaking world is and how much power we truly have. You have way more power than what you know. You will use it as soon as you need to. Not when you want to. When you need to, you will use it.
I wish we had 5 hours. I could have you go on and on and on.
But real quick, just to kind of sum that part up. When I tested this, I was walking behind somebody, and I walk fast, right? I'm very efficient. I was like, okay, I gotta get here. I had to learn how to get to all these places nice and calm. Get to those places when I get to those places. I know I gotta get there by this time. I'll do what I need to do to get there by this time. If I end up getting there by that time, dope. If I get there a little early, dope. If I get there a little late, that's all right. That's okay. Mm-hmm. This is what happened. Remember I told you somebody told me in a ceremony, they said, a lie is nothing but you thinking the universe doesn't accept you for your truth. So, me telling you the reason why I thought I was going to be late was real. It was me saying, hey, my dog got injured. He needs medicine before I leave. I need to get him this medicine before I leave. Then I have somebody there to watch him for me. If you're sitting there being like, that's a terrible excuse.
No. I mean, it was authentic, right?
It was the truth.
Which means I give the understanding back.
Exactly.
And we work better together.
So anything that happens here, I now will understand you more because you understood my situation. Yeah. So I'm walking behind this person, and they're walking slow, and immediately the trained habit of society telling me if somebody's walking slow in front of you, you should feel impatient, takes over. That comes in, and I was like, no. Understand this person. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Why are they walking this slow in front of me right now? First thing came up, they probably don't know I'm behind them. As soon as I said that, the person looked like, oh, damn, bro, hey, go ahead, man. We walking slow. You go ahead. As soon as I understood them, they understood somebody's behind them. Hey, bro, we walking slow. You go ahead. My bad, man. As simple as that.
Yeah, you can translate that to anything. That's wonderful advice.
So try it. Do it. This is what people are talking about. Yeah. And it's real. There's a reason why. We talked about this kind of thing for thousands of years. It's only been like 500 years that we've removed this kind of way of thinking.
And we put cell phones in the middle to make it even more thick.
Right.
Yeah. Or smartphones.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen, I was serious when I said 5 hours because I would honestly.
I'd stay for 5 hours.
I don't think anybody here would be happy listening to us for 5 hours. But for me, these are the kinds of conversations that excite me because there's lots of learning, right?
Absolutely.
But speaking of learning, I want us to understand Matt Murray through maybe one person if we can. Mm-hmm. If there's anybody past, present, let's say present, mm-hmm. and then let's say past. Let's see if there are two different people.
Okay.
Who's inspired you?
If you asked me that question last year, I would give you a different answer.
Because now you're getting into your 30s.
Yeah. And all the work that I've done on myself, especially this year. Because, since 16, I've been really working on myself. But this year, I feel like I hit this pocket that just shot me forward so fast in my learning. Funny enough, that what shot me forward is ayahuasca. That shot me forward so fast and allowed me to just really look at myself really learn about ancient civilizations, humanity, like what we really are, where we really came from, what the lies that are truly out there, saying, and for me to understand it, not judge it, and start changing myself. This year has been the greatest year for that. And because of that, I am my biggest inspiration. Because I know what I've been through more than anybody else on this planet. So I know what I've had to overcome more than anybody else on this planet. And I see and feel the rewards more than anybody else on this planet. And the rewards of how I feel in life now, I would have never dreamed I was allowed to feel this amazing.
That is wonderful. So I say this as I look at you when you respond this way, and you don't say this with a shred of narcissism.
Not at all.
And anybody who's listening would believe that as well.
Right.
But that is not an answer I would ever think of hearing from anybody without understanding that there's a bit of narcissism. So
Well, you do. That's, again, I would have had a different answer last year. I would have said somebody else. I would have said my dad or somebody. You know what I mean? But the rewards that I have received, and seeing the obstacles I had to overcome, and seeing what I'm doing with those rewards, I could not believe that I could be this type of person. Like I'm my dream self right now for me. I'm what I've always dreamt I could ever be, and I'm only 29 right now.
30.
I'm 29 today. Luch, I'm still in my 20s right now.
Just reminding.
I am what I want to be right now.
Okay, perfect. Present moment, I guess.
That's right. Tomorrow I'll be 30 and I'll praise the hell out of it. I'm going to call you, Luch, I'm 30.
Yeah.
But to know that I've reached my dream place at 29 years old, I can only imagine where I'm going to be as time goes on and I continue this work. I couldn't even comprehend it. And that excites me so much. It doesn't scare. I'm not scared of my future, which is so nice to feel. That's so nice to feel, man, because I've always been terrified of my future. I've always been terrified of my past. I've always been terrified of the moment. And I didn't know that. I didn't realize how scared I was. So I had to remove all that fear. It's what we talked about. Anytime a situation hits me, no matter what emotion I'm feeling, if I'm angry, upset, irritated, confused, whatever it is, I always go straight to the source, fear. This made me upset because I'm worried about this happening because of this situation. I'm scared of this happening. So it wasn't what made me angry that is the problem. It's what I'm scared of. The end result is what I'm scared of. So now I understand the emotion of anger. Allow it to move through me, do breath work or whatever I need to do, yell in the pillow, do an exercise, whatever I need to do to allow that emotion to move through me. Mm-hmm. Not bask in it, not stay in that emotion. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry to continue. I'm not going to cry to quit. Right? I'm going to cry to move something through me. If I'm angry, I'm going to figure out what that anger is. What am I scared of right now? What am I scared of? Okay, I'm scared of them doing this. I put in a lot of good, pure intention into this, and these people shit on it. I'm not mad at them. I'm scared that the effort and the pure intentions that I put in there wasn't good enough. But it was. It just didn't resonate with these kind of people. But it would resonate with people like you. So this tells me the pure intentions and the actions that I do need to be towards people like you. And then the people over here that would try to shit on it, I need to have a different approach to try to make them aware of what's happening. Or sometimes it's too much. You can't help them. And I had to also understand I can't help everybody. Sometimes the best way to help, actually you can, the best way to help is just leave them alone. Let them help themselves. You're not, if I'm talking with somebody and I can't find an answer for their problems, I'm not meant to give them that answer. They have to find that answer, or somebody else is meant to give them that answer. So I also keep it as simple as that. So I don't take on other people's problems. I can listen to them and I can understand, okay, I have a couple things that might help. Or I don't have any actions to take that can help, but I have some emotional release things that might be able to help you, right? Or I have some physical things that you can do for yourself to help you through this situation, but I don't have the answer for the situation. I only have the answer to help you on your journey to finding that answer. So,
I feel like we need a part 2. This is
we can have a part 5. You want that 5-hour thing? We're just doing it in 5 parts.
I love it. We'll do a weekly show. Just like
I'm down.
Matt, listen, you always bring great energy to the conversations that we have, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too back, brother.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Reno.
Thanks. Reno, for our listeners, Reno is doing all the work in the back here with audio,
That's the
visual,
guy right there,
and giving us good energy. And also our branding king too, behind Inspire and behind greatness. So before we sign off, if there's a way for folks to see what you're doing, what you're up to, follow you on social media, shoot, what's your handle?
My handle is MattMurray28 on Instagram, Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook or Twitter that much. I'll do Twitter for live tweeting for when the shows premiere, or when they air. Then I'll do that. I'm not that good with Twitter. There's so much negativity that goes on that I try to go on for a purpose of positivity, and then I leave.
And step back.
And I step back. You know, even in my Instagram, like I only follow like positive people and positive pages because of there's so much negativity that's happening. I'm very aware of the negativity. Yeah. I've lived in the negativity. I've seen more than kids should be seeing and experiencing. I know that world. I don't need to constantly prove to myself that it still is here.
Okay.
I don't need to constantly do that. So what I do need to do is surround myself around inspiration, because then when those negative situations come, I have all these weapons, I have all these tools of inspiration to know how to heal that situation without using violence. I have tools now. These pages, these people are going to give me my inspiration and awareness of how to handle the situation of any sort.
And on that, Matt, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you back, brother.
Until next time.
Until next time. Be great, y'all.
Hey, it's Enrico Colantoni here, actor, director, and dedicated napper. Like what you heard today, there's more to come. Make sure to subscribe to Behind Greatness and learn about our live events at inspirenorth.com. You'll also find links to our social media right on our website, so be sure to give us a like and follow. Until next time, stay inspired.